Hi friends, we now have a very good sloka about intellectual honesty. You see, an intellectual is supposed to be quite honest. He is supposed to be honest in his expression. He is supposed to be honest in his attitude, in his handling of various things. But then suppose an intellectual tries to hide facts. Who is an intellectual actually? An intellectual is somebody who is able to analyze things, who is able to arrive at the truth, who is able to know whether something is good or bad. So such a person is an intellectual. So suppose such person, he deliberately hides something, deliberately portrays a bad thing as a good thing. If you are working for an advertisement company, it is okay. If you are working for an advertisement company where some soap, you have to sell a soap, or you have to sell some toothpaste, you say that, oh, this has got that, so many qualities, so many high, great qualities, etc., etc. So then for a salesman, it is okay, but not for an intellectual. You are not a salesman. You are not somebody who is on hire. So this particular shloka is about this intellectual dishonesty of scholars, intellectual dishonesty of people who are expected not to be dishonest. So this is from a Shatakam. This is from a Shatakam. Shatakam, you know, Shatakam is a collection of 100 verses. Very famous Shatakam called Kali Vidambanam. Kali Vidambanam means reproach of the decadent times. It was written sometime in 17th century by one poet called Nilakantha. Nilakantha is the writer. Nilakantha's Kali Vidambana Shatakam is a very famous satirical work. Basically, it is a work of satire. So here, let us read the shloka. Kataryam durvinitattvam karpanyam avivekitam sarvam marjanti kavayah rajanam mushtikinkaraha. So the poet is using rather strong words here. Rajanam mushtikinkaraha. So Raja is a king. So in those days still we had some kings, 17th century. So Rajanam mushti kinkaraha. Mushti is a fist. Mushti is a fist. Mushti kinkaraha. This king throws something with his fist. He takes a few coins in his fist and then throws. So the other man, he is picking up those coins, and then he will do whatever the king says. Whatever the king commands, he will say. Suppose the king is a bad guy. So that scholar, he will praise him. Oh, the king is such a great man. The king is so generous. Suppose the king is a very, very timid fellow. Even if the king is a very timid fellow, even if he is scared at the barking of a dog, this man will say, oh, he braved a lion when he went for hunting, he will say. So he will build up an image. So exactly the same thing is told here in this shloka. Kataryam durvini tattvam. Kataryam, katara, the word kataram is a timid fellow. Kataryam is timidity. Timidity. Suppose the king is very, very timid, as I said, afraid of even a bark of a dog or even afraid of anything. But then this poet will say, oh, this man has faced several enemies. Single-handedly he handled about 10 enemies. He will say something like that. So Kataryam, Durvini Tattvam. Durvini Tattvam is bad character. Vini Tattvam versus Durvini Tattvam. So that is bad character. The king has all the voices. The king is so inglorious in his character. So even then, the poet or the writer or the historian who is commissioned to write something about him, so that fellow will write a glowing picture about the virtues of the king. So Durvini Tattvam. Then Karpanyam. Karpanyam is miserliness. Suppose the king is also miserly. The king is miserly in all other aspects, but when it comes to his image building, he is not so miserly. He gives something to these writers. So he throws some money to these writers, and these writers will project him as a very great man. Oh, you are like Lord Rama, you are like Lord Krishna. Who can compare you? Who is there in comparison to you? There is nobody in comparison to you. So they will say like that. Karpanyam. Avivekita. Avivekita is foolishness. The king may not be a wise man, but then these people will write a few books and then they will say, oh, the king has written this book. So even now we come across such people. Ghost writing it is called. Suppose a big man in some in high place is there. Suppose he is some big, say minister or a big prime minister or somebody like that. Not even prime minister. Suppose some so-called big man, a man with a lot of money, let us say. So that man will commission a writer to write a book on his behalf. So that writer, he writes that book, and then this man, he uses his name. So sometimes even Swamijis do like this. So sometimes some of these Swamijis who are not so well read, they will be having somebody, some assistant who is a good scholar. So this scholar will write some book, maybe some Taittiriya Upanishad Bhashyam or something like that. And then he will say, oh, that Swamiji has written that. So it goes in his name. So like that it goes. So avivekita also is something which is whitewashed. Sarvam marjanti kavayaha. All these weaknesses, marjanti. Marjanam means cleaning up. Literally the meaning is cleaning up. So marjani is actually a sweeper. So marjanam is cleaning up or whitewashing. So there are so many blocks, there are so many blots on his character. All those blots are whitewashed by these writers. So sarvam marjanti kavayaha. Who are they? Rajanam mushtikinkaraha. They are just at the bidding of something, some fistful of dollars, let us say, some fistful of money which is thrown on them. So this is talking about the basic intellectual dishonesty, unscrupulousness. The people who are intellectuals, who are supposed to guide the society, they are hired, they have prejudices, they are aligned. In fact, an intellectual is somebody who should be totally unaligned. He should be totally unaligned to any political group. He should not be aligned to any sort of pressure group. He should not be aligned to any sort of lobby. He should not be aligned to any type of, say, religious group or anything like that. He should not have any blind opinions about anything. So, a scholar or an intellectual, he is supposed to rise above all these things. In fact, our Vedanta also says the same. A jnani is supposed to rise out of all these petty identifications. An intellectual is supposed to be so. But then we come across intellectuals who may be in the so-called think tanks. So if you see some advanced countries, in those advanced countries there are some think tanks. You know what is a think tank? A group of some group, say, which is meant to talk about, say, foreign policy, meant to say evolve an economic policy. They are the people who talk about, who pass judgments on various things. So these think tanks are funded by the private companies. So then what sort of independence will this man have? Because his money depends on that fellow, the private company, and then this man has to give a good picture of that private company. That private company's interest may be money making. So the modern examples of these mushtikinkaras are the think tanks. So think tanks in America, you take any think tank, there is one think tank which is associated with, say, Democrat Party, another think tank associated with the Republican Party, another think tank which is associated with some other liberal group. So all these things are funded by somebody, and these so-called intellectuals, they parrot, they proclaim, they propagate the ideology of somebody else. They don't propagate truth. They don't want to look into the truth, but then they want to propagate some negative picture. Suppose they want to condemn a particular, say, country. They want to condemn a particular culture. So these people will keep on finding some loopholes. They will keep on finding some sort of fault lines and then weak points, and then they will try to project it and then say, oh, this society, this India is such a bad society where women are suppressed. India is such a bad society where so much of ignorance is there. So forgetting their own ignorance. So such scholars you find in all the Western societies, particularly the Western societies. This particular shloka is applicable to most of the Western scholars now. So because these are the people who try to condemn every other culture without going into the facts. So that sort of say picture is presented in this poem by this Kali Vidambana, this Nilakantha Kavi, in this Kali Vidambana Shatakam. So let us read this shloka. Katariyam durvinitattvam Karpanyam avivekitam Sarvam arjanti kavayah Rajanam mushtikinkaraha. Fine.